If you're going to have a jury-rigged gym, you're going to be doing push-ups. Lots of push-ups. I do tons of push-ups. And it really takes a toll on your palms keeping them flat on the ground. So use that opposable thumb for something and use a set of these old junky barbells and make yourself a set of these things. They are awesome. I'll show you how you can make them. I guess it's really as simple as just cutting a block of 3/4 inch plywood like this and then drilling a hole in it and fishing your barbell through it. But you can make the design a little more elegant. I put a rubber spacer on, like a washer, to help it smash in so that it doesn't rock around a lot. Also, rounding the block really helps because your pectoral muscle is going to be digging into this corner with every repetition. And if you really want to take it to the next level, inserting a piece of something like this is rubber, into it gives it traction and makes it no slip. This is extremely effective. This is a really basic shape to make, but I can take a moment to help lay it out and explain it to you. You want to drill a 1-inch hole for the dumbbell, and make sure, this is a little messy to read, but make sure this is 3/4 of an inch in between. You want to make sure that 3/4 of an inch of material is remaining. The total width of the thing is 8 inches and its total height is 5.5 inches. That means that you would measure up 1.5 inches to the center here, and that would be the place that you stick your compass point, set to a 4-inch radius to draw out this shape. If you don't know the first thing about cutting a piece of wood round like this, the easy place to start is with one of these. It's called a jigsaw. Now, there are even easier ways that you could go about it, but the jigsaw is ideal for non-woodworkers. Make sure the deck of this thing stays flat and clamp the piece you want to save if you have a clamp. And go slow. Don't force it. If you go slow, then the blade will naturally straighten and your cut will end up straighter in the long run. Just take it easy, go slow. Make 2 of these and you're done. Okay, the traction foot. It only sticks out about 1/8 of an inch, but this is essential, especially if you're going to be doing it on concrete. It really helps to have a nice secure feeling while you're doing your push-ups. So an ideal material is this 1/8 inch sheet rubber like I used here. It's flexible and durable, but check the comments, maybe somebody has a good solution for an alternative. I can show you a couple ideas that I have though. Since sheet rubber isn't all that easy to come up with, you might have an easier time finding a piece of rubber hose, and if you cut it and then unroll it, this will work ideally. Also, this is just a piece of vinyl tubing, and it can be unrolled in much the same way. Let's give this a try on a piece of scrap and see how much traction it has. So a good piece of plywood will have usually an odd number of layers, so we can cut the middle layer out with a handsaw and then stick our rubber or whatever traction material we use into the slot. Out of the 7 layers, I just want to take this middle one. In the final version I made, I used a table saw to make this slot, but it actually turned out to be, so far, really easy to do with a handsaw. It's very natural to just follow along this line. Before we go on, I'm going to again recommend that you find a piece of rubber because it's faster and easier. But in the interest of tinkering around, if you want to use vinyl tubing it has some thermoplastic qualities, so if we heat it up a little bit, we should be able to flatten it out. So much for thermoplasticity. The bend didn't come out very well. But on the bright side, now that it's in there, it really seems to grab well. Now you can use some nails if you want, but I have a really simple and effective fastening system. Just drill about halfway through this bottom layer. And these are just little pieces of copper wire, and we've turned them into homemade nails. More like a rivet, really. Because once it's in place, we can cut it flush and pound it nice and flat. Next, I want to trim off this excess material, and to do that, I'll hold a ruler right here in place. We don't need much, just about 1/8 of an inch sticking over. The curve doesn't matter much now. As a proof of concept, it's okay, I guess, but still, the rubber is the best solution. It grabs though. I've done several thousand repetitions with these by now, and I have no complaints about them. I think it's probably the best way to do push-ups that I've found yet. So, if you like this idea, then join me for another one. I have plenty of other ideas similar to this that I'll be posting shortly, so come back, join me for another.